There's like 3 of them. So I forgot.
Yeah, the math was so how fast can
We are live. Mic check 1 2. UMass Boston Campus Center. Music Production Club. Today is November 20, Thursday, 2025, 7:30. Ladies and gentlemen, Chef Mansour, Chris Flanagan as your hosts. Welcome to our 3rd episode of the speaker series here on campus with the Music Production Club, the MPC. And you know what they say, 3rd time's a charm. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite producers and rappers, and not just because they're here, but in general, Shaykh Hanif and the one and only MichaelAngelo. Yeah. I got the name like Hanif because Arabic. Hanif.
Yeah, you said it right.
Yeah, Lebanese, proud, Arab. Lebanese, lots of because, you know, it's just the way I grew up, like, you know, blessed family, but I will say, and even though we're starting off right now, but I don't want to do this, but Wilderness of North America, genuinely, one of my favorite records of all time.
Wow.
And I was going through a moment of guidance, you know, coming here from around the world to the US. I was trying to find, I mean, I've heard of every name from the industry, but I wanted to see what's popping in the scene here in Boston, Massachusetts. Came across you guys, and it just blew me away. Therefore, I want to get everyone on. This is RZA's Flood from the album with yours truly, produced by yours truly as well, featuring Border Rock and Funeral and Bell as well. Ladies and gentlemen, check it out.
Yeah. Love, a brick and a half is sensational. Work in the trunk is occasional. UPS it, get it to you in a day or 2. I used to play the stool. Now I feel like Lewis Hamilton when I raced the coupe. Now I feel like $1 million in cash. I just want this feeling to last. Quarter joint still in the stash. That's my fallback plan. In case these investments don't hit, I promise you I'm all back in. I know you're tight. You trying to go and put diamonds in your dog tag. I'm the type, cop a 9 in the long mag. You could be lying in the mall bag. Tell your man duck if you ain't trying to see your dog tag. Know how to get it back when you got it out the mud. Cause I done lost everything like RZA in the flood. They like he's so arrogant. Drug lord narrative carried away selling coke like the drugstore carried it. You gotta trust the process. Niggas hating cause they ain't polished. I made progress. Now I'm about to make a profit. Now we about to rape the market. Came a long way from bagging J's at Target. Came a long way from serving rats. Promised bitches Birkin bags. But you know I'm swerving at. They wasn't there when I was hurting bad. I'm still hurting. Promise you, I'm so working. Even in the sidewalk, you hear the birds chirping. This my reality, don't try to taint it. I'm amazing. Don't try to speculate, just embrace it. Make the city look good, why you gotta have an ugly heart? Not my fault you fell off, dog, you had a head start. Got it out the mud, nobody handed it to me. So, I don't understand why you demanding shit from me. I never had a plug that tossed me zigs. I'm anticipating hate that the game brings. I'm anticipating fake love for the fake friends. So I'm loading my guns, murder take patience, nigga. On dogs. Takes patience, nigga. The most beautiful place in the world is really authenticity. Energy is currency and my wins define victory. The pure-hearted had the best privileges. Slum niggas always burn villages. You can only resort to violence when you live in treacherous. Snakes swim beside pharaohs and their bites are venomous. I should redevelop the book of Genesis. A king's aura is always benevolence. And you can't put a price on a peace of mind. Reserved seats are for the thrones and my seat is a sign. Niggas be stuck in their own ways and I'm stuck in the ground. When I was on balance, my mother helped me get realigned. Powerful voice in every line, I love it sings and pointing. So you can't destroy my energy, it's meant for absorption. And my vibe is my fragrance, I'm energetically hygienic. It takes some true bars.
Alright, let's get into it. This is the very, just wanna clap it up? Absolutely, appreciate that for coming through. So we just wanted to set the vibe right, and I mean, with that, I'd like to ask, I mean, in terms of music and hip hop, talk to us, you know, like, what's the first kind of experience you guys have with music, like, from when, where, like, how did it start for you guys, the journey through, you know, the rhymes and the melodies and the beats and all that?
Shit, it's always been a part of my life.
You guys want a microphone?
Sure. Okay. All right. It's always been a part of my life. I mean, as far as did I ever think I was gonna make beats and stuff? No, never. I just was just a fan of the music, and I think like most kids, there's just a place that you just connect, and just that music is just it hits different. You know what I mean? Whatever you're going through in life, it's just something to connect to. So over the years, it's been like that, but shit, it just kind of just fell in my lap at one point. I've always been into samples and seeing where the beats came from. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's for life too, so that's where I'm at.
What about you, on?
Music always been, like Mike said, just, part of, it's like the soundtrack of your life, like your daily life. It's always been in the background. My mom's was real eclectic, used to listen to everything from like Peter Tosh to Hank Williams to fucking LL Cool J. Like I just remember seeing all types of CDs. She had the crazy CD collection. And
It was different back then too.
Yeah.
It was like radios,
Yeah.
like just more.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
And it I don't know, the way it was made back then. Like one of the things that I remember though was always like hearing a song and knowing what that sample came from because my mom would be listening to it. So like that was the thing. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's from this. Okay, the Fuji's what this came from. Okay, so that was one of like the earliest things that I remember.
That makes sense. Was it always like just music for you guys, or like was there any particular other lane, like in terms of arts, like visual arts, or is it just the music itself?
It's just been music first, but over just being a creative, you start to get into you gotta do videos, you gotta do music videos, so you want to provide these ideas and yeah, I mean one of my favorite parts about music and making beats is giving ideas for videographers to do a video. Like I'm pretty sure it's the same with him, but he's one of them I respect as far as like coming with ideas for videos.
100%, yeah. And you guys have both had a long time working relationship. You made a lot of music together. So can you kind of talk about?
Yeah, been like probably about like
3-4 years?
3 years, 3 years, maybe.
Not too long, man.
Yeah.
Not too long.
How do you guys connect with each other?
He was working with Baldy Rock, and I would come by, check out what they had going on. But one of the things that I like about Mike is he wants to build a relationship with an artist before he just like hooks up with them, and I'm the same way. So before we get into anything, like, are you cool enough to even be around, to even, you know what I'm saying, for real? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, because I mean, when you're creating, it's like a vibe for you, right? You don't want to just be around people that just drain the energy and you just feel sick. So we had damn near, we've been in like 3 different states, like just on different shows before we ever even cooked up anything. We was in Atlanta, we was moving around, so we kind of built a bond. So by the time it was really time to really cook, he kind of knew where I wanted to take it and kind of knew what I needed to take shit to the next level. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts. For sure. So yeah, I mean, talk to us in terms of like the scene, like Boston, like the music scene in general, like. What's that start looking like over the years?
Yeah, I don't know, you can take it. Man, shit. We definitely got a community now. It took a lot of people like, shit came out of nowhere, but a lot of these artists and people I know have been doing this stuff for over 15 years. So eventually, you got a few people that start to make a name for themselves, and people outside looking in are like, oh shit, just kind of came out of nowhere, but when you live here, you just, you know what I mean? It's really what it is. But it's growing, and I think, I mean, not to not to sound like I'm the man, but I definitely feel like I'm one of the people pushing that. Yeah, pushing, you know. I'm humble, bro. You know me. I try to be humble, but I definitely, there's a few people that are elevating the sound and really, you know, helping putting Boston on the map. I mean, in my eyes growing up, I've always thought Boston was on the map. You know what I mean? Just because I was really tapped into the music that was going on before us. You know what I mean? But yeah, now we got a long way to go. But I think we're finally starting to show people we got a voice here.
Yeah, I think that is dope now, because you just have all types of sounds coming out of this area, and I think that Boston has always been a hub for art and culture, like always. So it's just, especially like in the hip hop scene, to not see that representation is kind of like, you know, it's kind of sad, because this is a main city for art and everything like that. So why don't we have a voice in hip hop? And I mean, just when I was growing up, rap, like the hip hop scene in Boston, it was like, the people just was like, it was so much beef going on at the time. This is the 90s, 2000s. There was so much beef going on at the time. Like, if you was from a certain block or something like that, like, people wouldn't fuck with you or something like that. So like now to see people come together and really support one another, support Boston artists, and you see a lot of collaborations and things like that, I think that that's dope. You know what I'm saying? So for sure.
100%. And by the way, since you guys are both here, the Wilderness album, phenomenal.
Thank
by
you.
the way,
Yeah.
I just want to ask some questions regarding that too, like the process, how you guys started that, how you picked the samples, like themes you were going for, you know.
What's the question? Sorry. What's the question again?
How did you start when you sat down and you guys created the album? Like, how'd you start the samples, the themes? What inspirations went into that?
I mean, shit, bro. It's like, music is not, you don't go in the street like, I'm gonna make a hit. Or like, you know what I mean? It just kind of happens. You just like, you build relationships and there's a few beats I had already made, and you know what I mean? I think it started off was actually the title track, Wilderness of North America. Prior to that though, there was a track on Dogs, Castellanos, that I was just like, nah, his voice on this shit, but Booty Rock hijacked that shit for the album.
I didn't know that was supposed to be
I wanted you to be on it, and I said, yeah, I like this too. Nah, it is justice though, it is justice, but I just knew right there, like that song right there. And then one of the next beats was How Old Is North America. And I don't think prior to that he's ever rapped on anything really kind of like that. But you, I mean, maybe.
I think, I have done like, cause that was more of a like drumless beat. So I had done things like that before.
It just, I think that beat, what I'm trying to say is maybe that beat just like really highlighted his voice and just certain aesthetics of that, you know, what he brought to it.
Right.
And we started with that, and then after that, our session was just kind of like either me making beats or sometimes I think Princess Flood he was in the studio and Booty Rock was there too, and I was just going through samples and we're just kicking it. We weren't even like trying to make music that day.
Yeah, just keep it simple.
That's my point. Is like you just don't go in the studio sometimes. Like it's gotta be. You just let it flow, the vibrations and chemistry. Just let it take you where it goes.
That makes sense. I mean,
Wilderness, the title track was the first track that we did, but when we did that, it wasn't even with the intentions to make a whole project. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I hear you, this beat is crazy, I hear you want it. So I'm like, yeah, for sure. And she heard it, it's fire. So I was like, yeah, we cook up. And then we just kind of just kept cooking from there. You know what I mean? I think the next track that he had sent me was
That's probably in the talk for like what, at least a month.
that was not even probably longer than that, bro.
Yeah, right.
Because when you first sent me that beat, we was in the studio. We had just left Grubby's that day. and I was driving home.
Shout out, Ruby.
Yeah. And then the next track you sent me, it might have been the next track you sent me was Son of Sam Law, and that was in Miami when you said that. I remember I was driving around like, oh no, this is grinding. This is what I'm talking about. But yeah, sent me a few tracks prior to that, and I just was like, I don't know if I'm gonna sound good on these, because it was really like boom bap underground, and that was like before I was like really immersed in the underground scene like that. So I was like, damn, I don't know how I'm gonna sound on these shits. But the thing about Mike is he has a way of he has the vision, bro. He can see it. He's like, nah, trust me, this is and that's what it's about. It's like, when you're getting with people that you can kind of trust when you're working and you're collaborating, it's like, you sure? Trust me. Just go in there. This time, but he'd be like, nah, go, killed it, but just say that verse one more time. I'm like, bro, I'm tired, bro. And he's like, nah, for real, go in, and then after we start playing, I'm like, okay, I hear it now. You know what I'm saying? So it's about getting with people that you can really trust, and that you trust their ear. Because if I don't trust your ear, it's like, I don't care what you're saying, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. I mean, in terms of the creative process, there's like two things. Like me personally, like always could be like want to figure out. I want to ask you guys, like, in terms of the creative process itself, how do you know like what do you kind of put out there, what do you keep in the vault, and how do you know like in terms of a project that you're gonna be putting out?
And I let everything fly, bro. There might have been like one song on this project that it wasn't that we just took off. It wasn't even because it wasn't good. It just the flow of the cohesiveness of the project. You know what I mean? And that's one of the biggest things. Like for me, is like, how does this project flow? Like how's this like sequencing? I'm big on that. So it's like, how does this flow? And he was like, bro, we gonna have to do something else, because that track is fire, but it just doesn't. I'm like, you sure, bro? I'm like, at that point, I was like, bro, I'm ready to drop this, bro. I'm ready to go. And he's like, nah, trust me. We gonna get one. We gonna find the right one. And then that was Bishop's Hub. It was like the last song I did, and then
That was a good one.
and I'm like that was perfect, because I'm telling you, like, that song, that was the perfect addition to it. That's really what it needed. So I'm like grinding.
Yeah, for missing that one.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Shit, but as far as me, motherfuckers know I'm like aftermath. I keep my shit in the vault for a little bit. I really, really like to perfect my shit. I like to sit on it for a little bit. I wish I didn't have to. You know what I mean? But sometimes I need the test of time and make sure it's really, you know what I mean? And
Well, I'm not saying not sit on shit. I'll sit on shit for like the perfect timing, but if I'm recording, I don't have like tracks just laying around like, it's never coming out.
no, when we pinpoint, we make sure it's that's definitely. But I take my time on my shit for sure, because especially today, society is just like, people just want to put out content.
Yeah, right.
And I feel like the art of music has been lost of really sitting down, like, is this special or not? And a lot of people just want to, and don't get me wrong, sometimes people just put out some shit and it blows up, that's cool. But I just think a little bit of quality control is really important.
100%.
That's just where I stand on that, you know what I mean? And I think that shit stands on my music. A lot of my albums, like, are deemed classics, and that's not only me, talking shit, but that's people speaking for me.
Right.
And I think, just really zoning in on that, it just stands out more than some other people.
Yes, sir. Quality over quantity with the music.
Sure.
And yeah, you guys are both like big inspirations, obviously, in the city. You guys both connect to the city, Hanif, Mike. I mean, we appreciate you guys coming here. There's some artists in the room. There's some producers in the room right here, right now. So like, what are some obstacles you guys went through, or like doubts you had that you overcame, that you could give some inspiration?
All I gotta say is, you really love this shit, you just do it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just, there's been plenty of doubts, there's been plenty of low moments where I've been like, shit, is this really what I want to do? But I fucking love this shit. And I put a lot of line on the shit. Lost family time, relationships, like a lot of, just days like shit that I love that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Mike, I agree with Mike, bro. You gotta do it for the love. We would all as artists and creators and we want to do this like full time, right? We want to be able to make a living off of our art. That's like the dream. Like not necessarily we want to be balling or whatever the case, but we want to be able, we want to be able to put this art into the world, and it's going to be able to provide, right? But don't do it with that intention. You're gonna end up getting discouraged, and
It's
you're
a
gonna want
show,
to
music also.
exactly, and you're gonna want to quit, and it will show in your art too as well. You know what I mean? You'll be like, and fuck this. I'm still like, bro. It takes time. You're gonna get there. You know what I mean? And if you're in it for the money, then you might as well go finish school and go work, get your job, because the time that it's going to take and the investment and the blood, sweat, and tears of it is going to be more than you're gonna hit a wall. You're gonna hit more walls, but then once you break through that wall, then you're gonna be good. So just keep going and don't give up.
It's a form of self-expression, so just keep it at that.
Yeah.
That's your life, and it's something you just do.
Yeah, so I mean, for me personally, like I've just been a fan of hip hop since like I can basically remember, right? Like even though I'm like a quote unquote Gen Z, but I feel it's interesting, not just music, but hip hop specifically, traveling around the world to all sorts of corners and wherever. Like you always kind of pop up and find very interesting figures and stuff. So for me, what I want to ask is like, with your guys' career, like have there been any notable spots that you guys have hit up like around the world, either in the U.S. or in Europe, where like it kind of speaks volumes on your guys' work specifically, like with what you guys do, what you guys put out.
Yeah, just recently, I was just in Paris, and just being able to perform out there and like really, shoot a video out there, just move around and just be like, damn, like, look, I've been through the worst circumstances, and look, now we in Paris and like watching the Eiffel Tower light up here because of hip hop.
Was this at the time of Virgil's thing? At the Virgil Police exhibition? Were you there for that?
Nah, it was a fourth rope event. So we was out there, but it was just like I'm just riding around like, damn, I can't believe we out here. And I mean, it's just, bro. Anytime I get to see somewhere new and travel because of the art, bro, it's a blessing, man. Like I really be like in places that I'm like, damn, like rapping got me here. So it'd be kind of like shocking. Like I'll be with the guys and we'll be driving around, like we'll be like out of town, like wherever, and we'll be like, bro, we really rappers now. It's like still, it just be hitting us, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's dope. It's just dope, and we're just extremely grateful to just move around and see the world because of the art. It's a blessing.
Shit. I've been in some places for sure, but one of my favorite places that really helped me fall back in love with this hip hop shit is Colombia, because just South America in general, man, they show a lot of love and energy to the shows, and some don't even know English, you know what I mean? So to see people like that, it's just this beautiful thing. You know, I've traveled to Tokyo, to the show with DJ Muggs. That was, it's fucking, you know what I mean? Like really inspiring. Like, shit, I'm doing it too, like you said, like, this is it. We're in it, you know what I mean? Then Italy, Spain. Spain's another good one. Amsterdam, like you were saying, that's dope.
Hip hop staples for sure.
Yeah, they, you know what I mean? It becomes addictive now after that. You just want to keep hitting more countries and just meeting dope ass people, eating good food, and just, best form of education I always say is go travel. I don't care how many books you read, you want to go learn something, go travel, meet different cultures, eat their food, talk to them, see how they think. And you'll see that sometimes where we're living in is this little encapsulated ideology, how we think it, and the rest of the world doesn't think like that. So that's the best form of education you can ever get.
Shout out to traveling. I love it. Hey, if y'all ever go to Amsterdam, check out Platypus record. Shout out Raul, shout out Platypus.
Yeah,
I mean, the Alchemist be popping on there very
Platypus, shout to them, actually. I don't know what record that is on 2CB Crime album, but they blessed me with that record and I used the sample and it made the cut, so shout out to Platypus. That's another one. Alchemist digs there, a lot of pioneers dig there, so shouts to Platypus. I love it.
Shout out them, yeah. And we do want to eventually open up the questions to the audience, so we're gonna ask a few more. If you guys are cool with that,
Yeah, do you think?
So, are there any new projects you guys can tease? Anything you guys got working on personally that you can tease for us or tell us about?
Yeah, of course, it's always. I know I got some shit going. I know he got some shit going too. We're always working. We're both, are like-minded people, so we know we just gotta boom, boom. We're working on what's next. Shit, me and ST Knock, we got a full-length project coming up.
Shout out to Steve.
I know soon me and him gonna start working on our soft long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just letting him dump off with some, he's making the right moves. It's one thing I will say about this artist that he studied. He learned a lot from my mistakes. We had a lot of these conversations in the studios of what I think he should be doing, and not even only he's just a smart individual himself, so he knows how to pick up and do his thing. Next up is an album with Primo Profit and RLX. That's coming up next. But yeah, that's all we got for now.
Shout out to all these names, bro. Go crazy they're in there, they're good.
Yeah, I just dropped last month. Congratulations. Yeah.
Congrats on that, the feeds.
Dropped.
Crazy
Feeds. Yeah. Conductor, Spanish Rand, Be Dawn, Static Selector, Lionel Willie, like just.
That's an example.
My favorite one's the conductor one. The on his face it the same way. That shit's a crazy track.
Yeah, no, that was dope. That was a dope experience. Being able to cook up in the studio and Empire Studio in New York and cook up with them. It's just dope, and it's just keep making the right moves and being able to be around the right people and people really respecting the craft. That's like the biggest blessing, especially from. Like that, with that album was having this project with people that I'm a fan of. Like, bro, I'm literally be like saying, like, dog, I really just be bumping this dude now. Like, we gotta, be cooking up together. But it's dope to see that, and it's inspiring. So yeah, so that was epic, and just being able to drop that. So I just dropped like last month, but I got a few other things in the tub ready to go. So just being strategic.
Congratulations, yeah, we're definitely looking forward to your new stuff coming soon.
Yeah,
for sure.
So this question, well, you guys can both, because you both have worked with Griselda a little bit, correct? Yeah, so we talked about a little privately one-on-one, but I just want to open it to everyone else. Like, how was it meeting Westside Gunn, Conway, and how did that relationship kind of develop? For those who don't know, he has a vinyl exclusive project with them. So yeah, how did that come about?
I mean, I just started to rebrand my name because I was going off another producer name, and I saw them coming up early on, and they gave me that feeling I used to get when I was younger, and I was like, oh shit, this is something different. And I just reached out, we just did some business, and in the middle of that time I was just rebranding, so I wasn't ready to drop right away. But I went through some shit in life, and the lottery ticket blew the fuck up. You know what I mean? They just kind of took off. But out of respect and to be honorable, I want to make sure I could release these tracks still. There's a lot of people telling me just drop the shit, what the fuck you mean? It's like, nah, I want to make sure the shit's right. And I'm glad I did, because I got to have a great conversation with him when I went to Buffalo. Shouts 1,000 words. He was there on some business, and he just brought me along so I could, have that conversation with him. And we went to a WWF event, and Still trying to find a moment to talk to him about it. Still nothing. 'Cause you can't be, you know what I mean? You don't want to be too thirsty. You don't want to be hungry but not thirsty. You know what I mean? And next day was a studio event that they had, like a studio session that they had, and I just waited. I played my position and waited for that right time. And it took some time, and I'm not gonna lie, there was a moment where, you know, some of the homies I was with was like, "Damn, you think, you know, you're gonna have that conversation?" And I had one homie like, "Nah, fuck that. We came here. This is the mission. We ain't leaving till it's fucking done." Well, that conversation happened at 4 in the morning. So you gotta really, do you want it? You know what I mean? You gotta make sure you really want this shit. So yeah, I sat there for a while and just got to listen to unreleased music, and just hearing him talk was a beautiful experience because shit, he's a mastermind in this business. So just to soak up game from him was a beautiful experience. So shout out to West.
Yeah, nah, it's a blessing to just, bro, be around and just learn, bro. Like, if you around these brothers, they're doing what we aspire to do at the highest level, right? So being able to sit down and talk and actually have, you know, I was telling my homie just the other day, it was funny. Remember how that thing was going around? It was like, would you rather have dinner with Jay-Z or $1 million, right? It was like kind of crazy because it's funny because
Same shit.
I literally get to have like dinner with the top, like, you know what I'm saying? Like all the time, really study and learn and be able to ask questions. And that's one thing about it. If you're around Gunn and you really get cool, like he's going to give you game. And even if he's not just telling you, if you're observant, you're going to get it. You're going to learn. And that's really what we be doing. We'll be studying, seeing what he does, how he moves, and then implement it into what we got going on. So it's like, you know, it's dope to be able to just even be a fly on the wall, even in the studio, bro. That's like, you know, it's, you're in the kitchen with somebody and they showing you the recipe, like that's rarefied air right there. So to be able to see him cook up albums in 2 days, in a day, like literally watched him do that. When you say that, he's not capping, bro. It's for real, like he really does that. So to be able to do that shit and be there, watch it, it's dope. It's like inspiring. You're like, okay. And then how everything else from the rollout to how he conducts business aside from music, you know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, just before we open up to the audience, I got one more question. This incredible record right here, No Face, No Case. Y'all should check it out. I was wondering if you guys would be able to cite it for me. Also,
yeah, for sure.
I got a shot right here.
For sure.
I appreciate y'all for coming through. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, MichaelAngelo Shaykh Hanif.